Step through the shadows with us because inside this box is not just nail art, it's a portal into haunted beauty. This is our September's Manny by Me Haunted Reflections. Hey everyone, it's your favorite dynamic duo, it's Tiana,
And Devin.
and we're so glad you're here to join us for another Manny by Me unboxing live. If you're loving our unboxing spoilers, live demonstrations, and also just fun conversation, then you've made it to the right live stream. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We unbox our Manny by Me collection every month on the 23rd. And also, if you're continuing the conversation and you want more inspirational and educational stamp nail art, this is your thing. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, we want you to check us out on Tuesdays. We post our schedule on our YouTube community, so definitely come and check us out and subscribe. We are in like our best season. We love Halloween. I know you love Halloween. So, Halloween, we are making it glassy and gorgeous with our haunted reflections, and it's all about eerie elegance. This is the kind of nail art that just belongs in like the haunted cathedrals. And if that cathedral had like super killer style. So, if you're ready to jump right in, Dev, are you ready?
I am.
Okay,
I'm
so let's
very excited about this box.
yay. We always get excited for Halloween, right? Like this is
We do. Halloween is so fun. But yeah. All right, let's jump right into it. I know you guys are really excited about this month's theme. And I think I'm just going to get into the box. Okay. So every month you'll receive 2 inserts. So the first one is going to kind of tell you a little bit about what's inside the box, what you can expect, the inspo for your 2 plates, what your surprise gift of the month is, and the next thing is going to be a little insert that shows you how to create a beautiful manicure to help jumpstart your creativity. This month it's Crypt-like Cathedral, and we have the steps right here for you so that way you know exactly how to recreate this look. Okay, then you're going to receive, let me just move all the goodies. We have 2 early access plates, your 2 early access polish, and also your surprise gift. But I know you guys want to see the plates first, so we'll talk about that. And before we even go into anything else, if you already know that you want this box, because it is available on the site now and live, go and use www.manixme.com. You can go straight to the site and you can grab this box. Also, if you're a first-time subscriber, I'm just going to tell you guys now already. If you're a first-time subscriber, you can get sub 5 or use code sub 5 to get $5 off your very first express kit or subscription box, which we'll kind of talk about a little bit more later. But yep, just head over to www.manixme.com. Again, the box is available now. So let's get into these plates because I know you guys want to see them.
And just at the top of the video too, before we get into the plates, I just want to make a little quick announcement that do not this box is different from our Halloween collection. So this is just
Yeah.
so we have a lot of Halloween things going on
Yeah.
at Maniology. So I just want to make it clear for everyone.
Yes,
This
we
is
do.
for our subscribers.
This is not our countdown calendar. A lot
Yeah.
of people get them confused. This is not our countdown calendar. This is our monthly subscription box that we release every single month with a different theme. So for our countdown calendar, that has significantly more items. And you guys are also in for a treat with that. I am so excited for you guys to start unboxing and all those fun things. Anyways, we will skip over that for now and talk about the plates because I know you guys want to see that. So the first plate we have is MXM 159. And as you can see, we have some beautiful designs.
So this plate features intricate designs like spiderweb windows, flying bats, and spectral figures, and definitely some ghostly silhouettes, all imagined through the delicate panes of stained glass. And because we know how much we have like fans that love layered stamping. Can you see that there are some elements that have layering on here?
Mm-hmm. So you can create your own mosaic masterpiece with this. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit later how you can do that. Okay, on to our next plate, MXM 160.
So this plate continues more of that hauntingly beautiful theme, more of your full nail stained glass designs. We have pumpkins, ghosts, and gothic arches. And another plate that's just perfect for layering and creating whatever your imagine takes you.
I'm not gonna lie, it can kind of be difficult in the beginning when you're just looking at the plate image like this to see what the designs are. It's almost like a little surprise. So I highly recommend you look at the product photos. I'm going to show you some tips very soon that I created art with. There's so much potential. I feel like the fun part about it is the fact that when you look at it, it almost is like a little puzzle or like a hidden secret. Because when you first look at this stuff, it's kind of hard to decipher what it is. But the closer you take a look, the more you start to see all the beauty in the designs.
I agree. And, actually, I had another idea. What do you think, Deb, about maybe like pre-stamping, just in black on a surface or like a tip or something like that?
Sure.
Kind of see what the design is going to be. So maybe you have a little idea or like a course of action for what the coloring is going to be like. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay. So let's move on to our polishes because I know you want to see that. So this month's early access polishes, and again, these are brand new polishes we've never had before, and you're going to get to have them first. So the first color is Spectral Shards, P188. And if you can see it, we have a stunning sheer black flaky polish. And I feel like it really just encapsulates the vibe of this box. And then the next color we have is B562 Ghostlight Gleam. And this is a really good black alternative. Well, actually, you know what? It is a black. It's black with a fun little green, very, very fine kind of pearl finish.
I can't wait
So
to stamp that out.
yes, it's so pretty. I mean, it looks like black, but it's just black with a little bit of something. So you can kind of see it when I move it in the light. You see a little bit of that green shimmer.
Dev, I think it's definitely about time that we do kind of like a black substitute. I feel
Mhm.
so many colors now in our range that are just really good black substitutes.
I agree.
Maybe it's time for us to do like another polish type of video.
So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this color because I'm sure you all are so curious to see. So let me show you what it looks like in the bottle. So this is meant to be a sheer polish because how do you create a window pane if it's completely solid? So
But it
this is
definitely
the
has
color.
a Halloween vibe.
It does, it does. So there are other ways that you can apply this color. So some people want more flakies or want, yeah, like a more sparkly effect. You can always sponge the color on, and that will intensify the glitter and the effect of it. I'm choosing to just do 2 coats. So I did 1 coat, and then I'm going to let it dry and do another coat, just so that way I can preserve that nice, clear, glassy effect for when we do our designs later. And then let's swatch our Ghostlight Gleam.
Oh, that looks black.
It does.
I mean, duh, it's a black substitute, but I feel like in the bottle, you could definitely see the shimmers of green, and this is like a beautiful deep black.
Black. It's true. I feel I can see in person, I can see a little bit of that green pearly shimmer, but it's really hard to catch it on camera, especially because we have all these lights casting a bunch of glare on it. But in person, there is just the slightest bit of like a pearl green finish. It's very subtle, but that was the point because, again, we need a really nice black stamping polish for our gorgeous window pane art. So that is one coat, and as you can see, it is definitely full coverage. And let's go ahead and do our second coat of Spectral Shard.
Now, Dev, just out of curiosity, because I feel like this is maybe a common thing for a lot of people, especially when it comes to painting regular polish shears. Do you have a tip for how to get like a non-streaky effect when using sheer polishes?
Most people, when they paint their nails, they have a tendency to try to paint the thinnest coats possible. When you're working with shears, semi shears, milky colors, use a heavy hand. So load it up on your brush. Your brush should be gliding over your nail. It shouldn't be like, you know how we say like float the top coat when we're talking about stamping? You want to float the polish on, and you absolutely need a base coat. Ooh, oh, of course. You absolutely need a base coat when you're working with semi shears. And if you have something like that happen, you can just dab a little dot. There we go. Look at that. Fixed it. So now we're just going to put that on the side and let that dry. I actually already painted out my bases so that way we can get into the art sooner rather than later. But before we do that, I'm sure you guys want to know, what is the surprise gift for this month? And this month's surprise gift is our non-latex cuticle tape and nail protector. Love these. They're so awesome. So when
Definitely.
you do gradients or when you're stamping, it makes cleaning up so easy.
So this comes with 2 sheets. So it's just an uber practical option. It's latex free, so it's perfect for those who have latex allergies and protect your nails from any manicure mishaps. So
And it's so stretchy, so it can really fit any nail. So this is how you would use it. And then it's basically like a bib for your nail.
that's a good description. Yeah, it's a bib for
Mhm.
and so after that, after you do your stamped nail art, you would just remove it. It is a one-time use cuticle protector, but it's a perfect option. You can use it by anybody and perfect for short nail people
Yes,
too.
yes. So you get 2 sheets, and that is 20 pieces total. So definitely enough for 2 manicures, if you're stamping all 10 fingers. If not, if you're stamping just a few fingers at a time, I mean, that's gonna last you a while. Okay, so are we ready, Tiana? Do you think maybe I should show them the code one more time, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure everybody's waiting for the demonstration, but who doesn't love savings, right? So you want to go ahead and pick up this box. If you're a first-time subscriber, definitely you want to save $5 off. Go ahead and use the code sub5 at www.mannyxme.com. You order it right now. This is the box you're going to get, and you are going to want to get it because it's
Mhm.
Halloween. This is like our best season, Halloween. So many fun things you can do with this box, and Deb is going to jump right in.
Yes. Okay, let me show you all I'm like, should I show you guys? What do you think, Tiana? Should I show them that stamping on the swatch with black is going to be black? Or should we stamp it or should we just skip right over? I know we said that we're going to stamp some of the images. So should I do that instead of stamping
Yeah,
on here?
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that kind of it'll be a better representation of how the
I
colors.
think so too.
So, Dev, which designs are we going to get started with?
So let's go ahead and stamp maybe 3 of these designs because, well, I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll stamp more. There's so much things I want to show you all. So let's start off with stamping some of the designs and then we'll go into the fun part, the part that I really want to show you, which is the art. So I'm going to select the designs down here. And I'm using my double-ended. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out the designs first. And then I'm going to show you what they look like after that. So I recommend using a lot of polish. Do not skimp on this because it's going to make things more difficult for you since there's so much etching and all of this is fine line designs. If you're newer to stamping, then just cover the whole image in polish. I know it seems excessive, but trust me, it is better to get a good pickup than it is to have to waste even more polish by getting a bad pickup and then having to restamp because there's nothing worse than that. So I'm gonna show you all the designs from here. Okay, so I stamped 4 images and then let me show you what that's gonna look like. So first we have our little ghost pumpkin image here. There's some roses down below, the little pumpkin and the ghost. We even have like some cool moon designs. Then we have our crypt keeper with the pumpkins. Here is another pumpkin design. If there's any like weird little patchy stuff, that's on me. It's not on the plates because I did use these early. I used this very set. That's why there was no blue film. So yeah, that was just me. But since we're showing just a short little demonstration of this, I figured it would be okay. Then this is the next design. Here we have a tree, some cute little ghosty friends here, and we even have a nice moon, some haunted houses in the background, and a witch's broom. So lots of fun little details. And then let me show you what some of the nail tips look like close up. So we have our crypt keeper, our little ghosty friends, and a star image, the pumpkins and the moon. Then we have this here where we have the skull, a little gray cat in a hat, our scary tree, the moon, our little ghost friends, and then we have the little creepy house in the background. And then this is a pattern I made myself, which I'm going to show you how to do in a little bit. So that is just with some pumpkins. Okay, now that we did all of that, I'm sure you guys want to know again, if you need to know what websites you have to visit, go to www.maniacsme.com and use code SUB5 to get $5 off your very first subscription box or kit. And for the kit, you're going to get your 2 plates that are early access, no polishes, your surprise gift, and also your 2 inserts. So you're going to receive all of that in a cute little tote bag. And if you are a first-time subscriber, you're going to get a stamper and scraper set. So you literally have everything you need to start stamping except for the polishes. However, those who are choosing the Express kit usually have more than enough polishes. So not do fall into that category, but if you do, the Express kit is a great option. And if not, if you love the polishes, you love what you saw with our Spectral Shards and also our beautiful Ghostlight Gleam polish, then you can get the full subscription box. And again, it comes with everything that you saw earlier, plus the 2 polishes. So now that we got all of that out of the way, I'm sure you are so ready for the art portion of this because I am so ready for the art portion. So let's get started. So I have 4 really, really pretty bases here. And for this, you're definitely going to need your Rainbow Splash collection if you have it, or if not, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's the sheer tints that we have that work for stamping or just for painting bases. So I went ahead and used that earlier and I sponged it on so that way I could have just a light wash of color. I also used Blueberry Blast. So again, any sheer tint polishes you have is going to work so well for this. So let's start off with this design here, or this tip here, and I'm just going to get right into it. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and use, whoops, put a little bib underneath because I don't want to get my workspace messy. So I think I'm going to go with this design here, and I'm going to show you how it works on the nail. So you could use it multiple ways. Here, actually, let me take this off and just show you. So you could use it like this, using the base or the top of the design towards the base. You could also create like a French design like that. So using, it's almost like a reverse French. So this part of the nail, 75% of the nail would be covered in the design, and then the tip would be colored, whatever you want it to be. So maybe it'll be easier with a clear tip. Oh yeah, I think that's easier for you guys to see. So for example, you could either have it just here, have that spider print there, or the spiderweb print there, or you could have it covering the whole nail except for the tip of the nail. Or you could just do it over the entire nail. So again, lots of ways to play around with these designs. Highly recommend you check it out. Yeah, so let's work on our first design. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and use our beautiful black stamping polish. So that's the Spectral Shards, or oops, I moved a little too slow. What am I saying? Spectral Shard, Ghostlight Gleam. So Spectral Shard is our base. That was not a perfect pickup, so we're going to try again. And then let me clean off this design. Okay, so when you're working with these designs, again, always apply more polish, especially if you're newer to stamping. Just go ahead and cover the whole design in it. I know it seems like a lot and you don't want to waste, but it's a lot worse if you don't cover the image in enough polish. So I'm going to try doing it this way. Instead of covering the whole nail, I'm just going to do part of the nail. And then don't worry, I'm going to move all of this out of the way a little bit later so you guys can see. And then I want to do a little ghosty friend here. So I'm going to grab my white and let's give our ghosty friend, here, let me try that one more time. Let's see if this trick works. So I'm going to turn this to the side, and then I'm going to use white here, and then a little orange right there. Say it's so, oh, did you guys see that? That was awesome. I have a little gap, but it's okay. I'm gonna put my little ghosty friend here. If your orange doesn't, because the black is a dark base, the orange is not showing as well as I'd like it to. So in that case, I'm just gonna double stamp it. And to make sure that I only get the hat, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So that way we restamp our hat. And if you have a little gap, you can always take your detail brush and a little bit of white polish or whatever color polish you have. So, or if you don't have a detail brush, you could use a toothpick. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fix that little gap like that. Now we're gonna take our black polish again and use that Ghostlight Gleam, and we're gonna do the outline. So I'm gonna turn my plate this way, so that way I don't have to drag the polish down. I can just scrape it. Oh, oh my goodness. Send me good stamping vibes, everybody. Not my best pickup, but it'll work. Okay. So let's take a look at the design now. And there you go. I didn't have this perfectly lined up, but you see what I'm trying to go for. And again, you can create kind of like a cool reverse French design here. So now the tip is clear and the bottom has like the art on the bottom. Or if you wanted, I could move this up and the pattern can cover the whole nail if we wanted. We could just do the base. I mean, there's lots of ways to go about this. So be creative, try different things. It's worth it. And then let me put our tip here. Okay, on to our next design. So I already painted the bases for this. Maybe I'll start with easiest to hardest. Oops. For these two, we're gonna do smudgy cure bases over it. So I'm gonna start with this. I used two, again, these two are using the Rainbow Splash collection. Highly, highly recommend you pick it up. It's gonna be so good for all these stained glass nail designs. And then now I'm going to show you how to create the viral stained glass Halloween look, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but last year for Halloween, it was everywhere. I saw the art everywhere. I wanted to make sure that we had a way for all of you to create this design. So here is the viral stained glass Halloween hack. Now you don't have to hand paint all those tiny details. You can thank me later for it. So let's go ahead and we're going to use this spiderweb design again. Or well, I guess because that one's a spiderweb, so I'm saying this one again, but technically it'll be our first time. So we're going to create our own layered pattern. Hopefully I can get this centered for you on camera. Wish me luck. It's always a toss-up. Oh, pretty good. That was pretty decent. Yay, okay. Very happy. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead and select a design. How about we do, trying to think what pattern we should do. I want to do the spider would be the natural choice, but I don't really want to do the spider. Let's do the raven. I think that could be fun. Or, should we do the bats or the moon? There's so many choices. Ah, I want to save the pumpkins for later. Maybe we'll do the bats. I'll do a big bat instead of a layered bat. So just go ahead and grab that. And perfect. Okay, I have to rearrange my stamper a little bit. Starting to slip in the wrong spot. Okay, so this is our bat design. And then we're gonna go ahead and move this out of, oh, whoops, sorry. We're gonna move this out of the way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and color in the bat. So I'm gonna do a really light gray colored bat. And part of the reason I wanna go for a light gray bat is because I have to make sure that there's enough of a color contrast so that way you all can see it on camera nice and clearly. So if you want to choose a different color for your bat, go right ahead. I'm going to choose something that's going to give us the best contrast. So I want you to be able to see all these really cool details. Now when you reverse stamp, again, just try your best to tap, tap, tap with your brush. You don't want to end up dragging the brush and then ruining your design underneath. So there we go. And then if you can, make sure the layer isn't too thick when you're applying the stamping polish, because if not, you're gonna have to wait forever for it to dry. And you all know, I'm already very impatient. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's take a look. Yep, I can see my little bat friend. Have a little black polish there. Okay. So for now, I'm gonna put this on the side so that way we can let this dry. And then in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna show you how to create, I believe the term is called Murano glass. And you're gonna wanna take your calcium-rich milk base coat. This is so awesome. Highly, highly recommend you pick it up because one, you can use it as a base coat. Two, you can use it for all sorts of art techniques, which I have gone over in other videos. You can create glowing designs or create a halo glowing effect. And then you're just gonna wanna put a nice amount all over a stampable surface. Then you're going to want to take Ocean's Depth and just do something like that. Then you want to use your Blueberry Blast if you have it. And you can go ahead and add a few drops of that as well. And then use your brush. You're just gonna do something like this. And on top of that, if you want, you can use your ice cube or your monocle stamper. I'm gonna use my monocle, and we're gonna end up with something like this. And this is it. So give it a few seconds to dry. If you try to use this as is, it's just gonna smear right off your nail tip. You don't want that, or your actual nail. So we're gonna give that a few seconds to dry. And then while that's drying, I think we can come back to our little bat. Yep, this is good and ready to go. Now I'm gonna just add my bat friend right in the center. Isn't that cool? And take a look at our stained glass bat design. Again, this is a very easy way to create the viral stained glass nail look. If you ever saw how to do it, it can be really intense. So we gave you the cheat sheet by creating these stamping plates. This is the quickest way to get that look without having to do all those intense details, having a steady hand to freehand all this stuff. I know it can be really rough, and I predict that, again, this is going to be very popular during the Halloween season just because it's so cute and it's so eye-catching. So you can do this and mix and match the bases. We have designs here. Whoops. We have designs here that we layered. So let me show you. You can layer these on top of each other. You can mix and match. I mixed and match. You can really do whatever you want. I'm not going to show you guys how to stamp this over each other because I feel like I think you know how to do that. So I'm just going to show you the stuff that maybe you wouldn't think of when you're working with these plates. Okay, let me go ahead and stamp this on because I'm sure it's now dry enough. Oh, it came out so well. I'm so happy it like the stamping gods are on my side and things are cooperating well with me today because let me tell you, a while ago when I had to make some art tips for this, it was not cooperating with me. I was just having one of those days. So this is a nice option for people who maybe don't want a super clear base like this because, again, the sheer tints for a Rainbow Splash collection are completely transparent. So using the milk base kind of hides the nail a little bit and gives you a bit more coverage if you don't like seeing your free edge, or, some people don't like seeing the pink parts of their nail, their actual nail bed. And this will kind of, again, hide some of those details for you. So now let's go ahead and work on the next tip. And for this, I think I'm going to go ahead and I want to use I know we just did bats, but I really like that. I really like the little moon with the bats. Do we have another moon sign that I can use? No, I think I really like that one. I like this one the best. I'm not going to show you guys how to use the full nails because I know you guys know how to use the full nail designs. Maybe I will select this though, because I think that could be cool. So these two designs here, again, they can also be used for layering patterns. So there's actually 6 regular full nail patterns, and then the rest of these designs can be layered. So even for all of these can be layered, or you could technically use these alone. Like this stuff, this could all be used alone. You don't technically have to layer it over these if you don't want to, or you could, completely up to you. So you have options. Now let's go ahead and use our design here again. And then we're going to use our Ghostlight Gleam. And I just went and covered the whole dang thing because I'm not trying to have to worry about picking up the design multiple times. Now let's see if I can line this up. That is the trick. Okay, we got a little bit of the wiggles, but for the most part, it looks good. And if you can't stand looking at the wiggles, you can always cover it up with another design. I might go ahead and try and cover it up with like a little ghosty friend. So that way, yeah, you know what, let's do that, because will that bug me? Probably. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover it with a ghosty so that way we don't have to see that. Yeah, if there's something that you don't like with your designs or didn't go according to plan, just keep adding a little bit more, or think about something that you can use to just kind of cover it up. So for example, I'm just going to cover that up with a ghost. And then go ahead and let's use, actually I'm going to turn it this way. Oh, a little too slow. So when you're working with fine line designs, if you can, turn off your fan or your AC. Don't yap. Don't have a camera in front of you like I do. Just move quickly and apply a lot of polish. And who would have known that we had the wiggles under there? Not me. I wouldn't have known that. And then now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of reverse stamping. So I wanted the bats with this really cute moon pattern. So if you're wondering, why do I keep turning my plate upside down? I keep turning my plate upside down because I don't want to get polish scraping in the opposite direction and making my plate more dirty than it needs to be. So now I have this cute little bat. I think this time I might try and use, you know what? Why do I have to use gray? Let's do fantasy bats. They're going to be purple. How about that? We're just going to go ahead and reverse color these bats with purple, because who says that they had to be realistic colors? This is your artwork. You can do whatever you want. And I want purple bats. So that's what we're going to have. Also, if I am not answering your questions, I'm so sorry. I am trying my best to focus on reverse coloring this image and to continue to keep the conversation going so it doesn't get awkward and quiet on camera. So yeah, your girl is trying. I am gonna go ahead and use orange and yellow for my moon. So I'm using the color Lasso and Marmalade. But again, you don't have to use the same colors as me. Actually, I recommend that you don't. Play with play with the different colors we have. We've got so many colors. I know you have a lot of colors. I know you've got tons of polish. I know you have tons of our stamping polish. Go ahead and experiment. And then show me what you create. You can always upload your photos and your manicures to our Facebook community. It's a closed group and there's tons of stamping friends there. And we love seeing your artwork. If you don't think that I'm checking in on that group, taking a look at what you guys are talking about, seeing the manicures you're creating, you are wrong. We do take a look. We want to know what you're up to. Okay, so now we have our little bats and our cute moon. I think the bats are already like almost ready. The moon might need a couple of seconds. So let me give it a couple of seconds before we transfer this. Yeah, that's still way too wet. I'm gonna make a mess. Okay, while that's happening, I'm just gonna tell you what the next design is because I've been thinking about doing this. And is it really Halloween if we don't do a pumpkin? So we're gonna be using this design here and we're gonna do a cute pumpkin inspired look. I guess it's not inspired by a pumpkin if there are pumpkins on top of it, huh? So we're gonna do a cute Halloween pumpkin look. Is it dry? I feel like this is the part that takes the longest, having the patience to actually wait so that way we can transfer it. Yeah, it's not done. Almost. So for the next nail, you're gonna wanna have your milk white calcium base on standby. And then we're gonna also use a really pretty light purple. You don't have to use a light purple if you don't want to. You don't have to use the same purple I have. You can use, again, whatever you want and whatever you have. And then we're also going to use a little bit of that violet spectrum from the Rainbow Splash collection. Again, this collection is so good for so many things. We've done lots of videos on it. We've showed you all the cool things that you can do. You can do lead lighting techniques. You can do stained glass art. I mean, there's just, you could even do like a watercolor type nail art with this stuff. I mean, there's so many ways. I'm going to say that this is good enough. We are tired of waiting. So I'm just going to stamp this on, and I think I'm going to stamp it right here. Okay. And that is our ghost, moon, and bat design. So let me show you. It looks so much better when I take it off the stand. I feel like you can really see the details. Also, at the very end, I'm going to show you my #1 trick for, again, creating the perfect stained glass nail art look. So now we're going to move on to our base for the purple nail. I started off with a sponged layer of that violet spectrum. And the reason why I sponged it is because it is a really, really pigmented polish, and I don't need it to be so pigmented. I just wanted a light wash color. And then you're going to go ahead and take your milky white. So we're going to use our calcium base again. Just apply it all over. Also, can you imagine this would make great lace nail art? Using that as a base would create beautiful lace. Also, it could create some really cool ghosts because it's translucent. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Try that out. Then we're just going to add some of this light purple. Then I'm going to take the smallest amount of that violet spectrum color because it's such a strong purple and I don't want that much of it. Okay, that's plenty. And again, these sheer tints were actually created for stamping, so that's why they're even more pigmented. Do something like that. There we go. And then now we have this. So give this a few seconds to dry. Then once that's dry, we're going to go ahead and stamp it over this. Look at our design so far. Aren't they cute? Oh, I can't wait to show you my favorite hack after for really transforming your look. Okay, let's see. Is it dry? Still looks kind of wet. And I think because I can see the reflection pretty clearly still, it needs a couple more seconds. Oh. So let me just give it that time to... Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, you know what we're going to do in this time? We're going to work on our pumpkins because that is also going to take a moment. So I'm using our Ghostlight Gleam, and I'm just going to stamp our pumpkins. So we're going to, because we have to reverse color our pumpkin. That's not the best pickup. I'm going to do it again. Also, if you aren't getting good pickups, sometimes if you have your plate on something like this, like a paper towel, that like fluffiness can sometimes cause problems for your pickup. So you really have to like push your plate down and make sure that you get a nice good scrape, because this little, you can even see it when I touch the plate. You see how it kind of moves from side to side like that? It's because it's not on a completely flat surface. So sometimes that can affect your pickup. So just be aware of that. But usually I do it because I want to make sure that I get the polish on here and not somewhere else. So then I'm going to grab my orange from earlier and we're going to just color our pumpkins. I just realized that we need to color, I guess it'd be like the stem of the pumpkin or where the pumpkin attaches to the vine. So don't be like me. Make sure that when you reverse color, start with the smallest pieces first, so that way it makes it easier and you don't have to be so gentle when you're trying to reverse color the rest of the design. Okay, so I am using a light brown. Now let's flip it over, take a look at our pumpkin. Yep, that looks pretty good. So we're just gonna set this on the side for now. And then we're gonna go back to this because it's dry. And I'm gonna arrange this so that way it has more, it goes in a direction that I like. Sometimes you kind of have to wiggle it around there so that way it can cut the polish. Uh-oh. Oh no. And sometimes this happens. If this happens, it's okay. We're just gonna rip all that extra stuff off, which is why this month's surprise gift is those awesome non-latex cuticle peels or cuticle tapes. They're gonna come in handy when you're doing this kind of stuff. So we still see that purple underneath, but now it creates just a little bit more coverage so it's not a completely clear nail. Also, it just creates that cool marbling effect, which we all love. And then now let's take a look at our pumpkins. Are they dry? Maybe a few more seconds. But, oh, what am I saying? We were just gonna stamp those pumpkins directly on there and then that would have been a problem. Okay. Let's make sure we stamp our base on first. So that way we don't accidentally stamp pumpkins, because if we just stamp the pumpkins, it's definitely not gonna look like your stained glass effect. So I am gonna go for, I think I'm actually gonna go for one of these designs because I want something more simplistic, considering that the pumpkins are the focus, or I could do something like this. Maybe I'll do this actually. I'll go for a larger pattern. I'm gonna turn it upside down again. Let me clean this. Here we go. Perfect. Yay. Good. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure our pumpkins are ready. Voila. Let me move this all out of the way again and see what that looks like. Isn't that cool? A very stress-free stained glass nail art look. Because I will be honest with you, if you had to hand paint all of this, I love doing nail art. I also do enjoy hand painting, but that would stress me out. I'm being honest. It's so much line work. It's so much line work. That is going to be easily like, I don't know, 5-hour nail appointment. It's going to be a long nail appointment. That would be really expensive and really time consuming. So 10/10 recommend our stamping plates over hand painting for the stained glass look. Okay, so now that I showed you how to create the viral Halloween stained glass nail look, I'm going to show you my #1 favorite trick to give this the perfect finish for your stained glass nails. And you're going to want to grab a long liner brush. So I have one right here. You should have one too, especially if you're a subscriber or you signed up for our, what was it? Sorry, our countdown calendar last year. Let's start off with this now. So you're going to load your brush up with black stamping polish or your Ghostlight Gleam. And then you're just going to go around the edge of the nail. So when you're watching stained glass being made, or just they usually finish the edge, because if not, it would just be a raw glass edge, and that's dangerous. And also because usually there's some welding involved. to create, don't quote me, I've never made stained glass before, but I believe there's some welding involved. So all those like line work that you see, sometimes it's made with metal, I believe. I think there are other ways to do it too. I've seen people make like simpler ways, but I think because of that, they have to finish the edges. And then also, again, it just looks better because now look at this design. Doesn't that look so much cleaner than this? And this is my number one favorite hack for creating a finished look for your stained glass nail art. So we're gonna go ahead and do that to all of the designs, and you're gonna see how much of a difference it makes. So now we can compare it with these other nails. And if your polish starts getting dry, then just go ahead and don't try to fight with dry polish. Just grab more and then line your design. So usually the way that I like to do this, line the sides first because it's easier to line the sides. And if you're struggling to maintain a steady hand, use your pinky. And rest your pinky on your thumb, like how I'm doing, and then it makes it just a little easier. And then I go ahead and do the top and bottom after I've done the sides. To me, it's much easier doing it that way. And there you go. So again, take a look how clean that looks. And using a long liner brush is going to make this so much easier. If you try to use something that has shorter bristles like this, you're going to be struggling for a while. So the longer the brush is, the better it'll be. Unless you have a short nail bed, then that's fine. You can use a short brush. But the rule of thumb is that the right term? Well, the rule is long brushes give you nice, long, straight lines and are best for striping, while short brushes are good for fine details and they give you more control, so they're better for reverse coloring or trying to patch up, those like little gaps in your stamp designs. Because sometimes it happens. I mean, you guys saw I had a little gap earlier. Okay, and then let me go ahead and do the bottom. Even when I'm using this brush, this stays stable and it's these fingers that are moving. So I hope that helps when you're working with it. Okay, now let's take a look at our designs. I'm not going to do it for this one just because it's kind of hard to see it right now. When I take it off of this, it's a lot clearer, but I think you guys get the point. I think the contrast looks best with the colored bases and the black. So these are our final looks. Don't they look so cute? Doesn't this look like an amazing Halloween stained glass look? And I know you guys are going to recreate this and even better stuff than I have made, because that's frequently what happens. I'll create artwork and then I'll see all of your amazing manicures after the launch, and I'm like, darn it, why didn't I think of that? That's such a good color combination. That's such a good way to use that. So again, explore and make us proud, because I know you will. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our live. Again, if you want the box, it is available right now for you to purchase, and all you have to do is go to www.manixme.com for your full subscription box or express kit, and then just use this code sub5 to get $5 off your very first box or kit. Okay, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I cannot wait to talk to you a little bit later. So bye, everybody.